Good day everyone, this is Teacher Fe,
And I am Teacher May.
and today we are going to talk about Jungian archetypes.
Hello, learners! Today is your day to learn about Jungian archetypes. Be ready because together we will find out and discover the Jungian archetypes. Jungian archetypes. Archetypes are universal, inborn models of people, behaviors, or personalities that play a role in influencing human behavior. These are archaic forms of innate human knowledge passed down from our ancestors, and this is according to Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist who introduced the archetypes, the Jungian archetypes. Jung believed that we inherit these archetypes much in a way we inherit instinctive patterns of behavior. Jung believed that the human psyche was composed of three components: the ego, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. Then where do the archetypes come from? According to Jung, it's in the collective unconscious where the archetypes exist. Jung said that the ego represents the conscious mind, while the personal unconscious contains memories, including those that have been suppressed. Then there's this collective unconscious that serves as a form of psychological inheritance. It contains all of the knowledge and experiences that human beings share as a species. Now, let's get to know the four major Jungian archetypes, and let's start with the first one, the persona. The word persona is derived from a Latin word, means mask. The persona refers to how we present ourselves to the world. The persona represents all of the different social masks that we wear among various groups and situations. That is to shield the ego from all negative images. In order to fit in with the society's norms and expectations and adapt to the world, one learns to behave in a way that he or she can be accepted. However, becoming too closely identified with this archetype can lead people to lose sight of their true selves.
The second archetype is the shadow. The shadow is an archetype that consists of the sex and life instincts. The shadow exists as part of the unconscious mind and is composed of repressed ideas, weaknesses, desires, instincts, and shortcomings. The shadow forms out of our attempts to adapt to cultural norms and expectations. It is this archetype that contains all of the things that are unacceptable not only to society, but also to one's own personal morals and values. It might include things such as envy, greed, prejudice, hate, and aggression. Jung suggested that the shadow can appear in dreams or visions and may take a variety of forms. It might appear as a snake, a monster, a demon, a dragon, or some other dark, wild, or exotic figure. This archetype is often described as the darker side of the psyche, representing wildness, chaos, and the unknown. These latent dispositions are present in all of us. Jung believed, although people sometimes deny this element of their own psyche and instead project it onto others. The third archetype is the anima or animus. The anima is a feminine image in the male psyche, and the animus is a male image in the female psyche. The anima or animus represents the true self rather than the image we present to others and serves as a primary source of communication with the collective unconscious. Jung believed that psychological changes as well as social influences contributed to the development of sex roles and gender identities. Jung suggested the influence of the animus and anima archetypes were also involved in this process. According to Jung, the animus represents the masculine aspect in women while the anima represented the feminine aspects in men. These archetypal images are based upon both what is found in the collective and personal unconscious. The collective unconscious may contain notions about how women should behave, while personal experience with wives, girlfriends, sisters, and mothers contribute to more personal images of women. In many cultures, however, Men and women are encouraged to adopt traditional and often rigid gender roles. Jung suggests that this discouragement of men exploring their feminine aspects and women exploring their masculine aspects serve to undermine psychological development. The combined anima and animus is known as the divine couple. It represents completion, unification, and wholeness. The fourth archetype is the self. The self is an archetype that represents the unified consciousness of an individual. Jung often represented the self as a circle, square, or mandala. Creating the self occurs through a process known as individuation, in which the various aspects of personality are integrated. Jung believed that this harmony between the unconscious and the conscious mind could lead to psychological problems. Bringing these conflicts into awareness and accommodating them in conscious awareness was an important part of the individuation process. Jung suggested that there are two different centers of personality. First is the ego makes up the center of consciousness, but it is the self that lies at the center of personality. Second is personality encompasses not only consciousness, but also the ego and the unconscious mind. You can think of this by imagining a circle with a dot right at the center. The entire circle makes up the self, where the small dot in the middle represents the ego. For Jung, the ultimate aim for an individual is to achieve a sense of cohesive self, similar in many ways to Maslow's concept of self-actualization.
So that would be all for today's discussion. We hope that you've learned something from us. Thank you and God bless.